this is Mike Taylor from Web-Based Recruitment, organiser of the Mobile Recruitment Awards, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Rayanne Thorn. Hi, Rayanne.
Hi, Mike.
How are you?
Thanks for asking me.
No, it's a pleasure.
I'm doing well.
Good.
Happy to be here.
So, for the benefit of our listeners, do you want to give us a bit of background information about yourself and the experience that you've had working in technology and in particular recruitment from a mobile perspective?
Absolutely. So I actually started in the business as a practitioner. I worked as a healthcare recruiter many, many years ago, helping to hospitals to hire manager and director level positions that are sometimes very difficult to fill.
Right.
And so I worked as an executive retained recruiter and learned the craft of recruiting in an agency or a search firm setting, and really developed a great love for the craft as well as a respect for the ethical side of it. And as a result, my love and interest for social and how social could impact the job of recruiting became something that was very important to me, and I started adding little bits of social media into my processes and left that position after 5 years and really honing my craft as a in-the-trenches healthcare recruiter, moved into a role with a startup technology company, working in-house as a manager of recruitment and retention.
Right.
And we were developing new technologies. So I took my love of social and social technologies into a setting where all we were doing was developing technology. And it was a very exciting time to be recruiting. It was a really exciting time to be learning more about technology. This was about 8-9 years ago, and I fell in love with the whole world of technology, and had a recent cell phone user, and realized that it was going to quickly alter how we communicate. And as smartphones began to replace regular cellular phones, we could really see the impact of how social and mobile work together. And I have developed a keen awareness of the changes that mobile and social have brought to not only to the HR and recruiting industries, but to business as a whole, because of how it has altered communication. So if it's altering how I'm talking to my kids while they're at school, of course it's going to alter how I talk to colleagues or share information about a job with potential new employees, or seek to better understand which recruitment processes work better.
Right, that's interesting, because mobile's been around a number of years now, but it seems really slow in terms of adoption. What's it like in the US in terms of the number of companies actually fully embracing mobile?
It's very slow, and it's really frustrating for those of us that work on the cutting edge, if you will, of social, mobile, location-based technologies. We are eager to see the changes that we know will benefit our industry, and corporations that are looking to hire quickly, hire quality quickly, and in particular, when you consider what's happening with millennials and the Gen Y and Gen Xers that are coming up now and getting ready to graduate college and launch into their own careers, these kids, I'll call them kids because I can, and I'm much older, but these kids were basically born with a laptop or a tablet in their hand.
Yes, absolutely.
They function on a completely different level than the rest of us. I don't think that they consider a place of employment as some place with a desk and a desktop or a regular laptop computer. They consider their place of employment wherever they are with a mobile device, whether it's an iPad or a tablet or a mobile device, phone, smartphone, etc. And that is, I think, going to be the change, why we will see change happening now, because Gen Y is moving into management positions. Gen X is leaving high school and college and are having an impact on how they look for work. I don't even know if my kids would even know where to look in a newspaper.
No, that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Right?
I was at a conference today in London, and one of the speakers said, certainly from the Gen Y point of view, work it's not a place I go to. It's just something I do. So you don't necessarily have to go to a location to do your work, and that's what a lot of people are now expecting. The flexibility.
Right, and so that comes with just who they are too. It's their makeup, the way that they have grown into being an adult is that flexibility, the agility, the opportunity to have a mobile computing device with them at all times so that they can take their work with them.
Yeah.
It also means that they can stop working whenever they want and hang out with friends or do the things that they have to do to get on with life, whether it's stopping at the laundromat or, going home and taking their dog for a walk or whatever it is. They have the flexibility to alter or shift their day according to that device that's in their hand, in their pocket, in their pouch that they're carrying with them.
Yeah.
I think what scares me the most right now is I've done quite a bit of review. I have the opportunity to do a mobile recruiting webinar once or twice a year with my partner in crime, Jessica Miller-Merrill, over at Blogging for Jobs. And I believe we've done it 5 times now over the last 2.5 years, a mobile recruiting webinar. And every time we add so much more information because there's so much more information available, but also we're seeing more and more companies like Forbes and Fortune and Inc. and Fast Company and Mashable and TechCrunch that are really driving the interest in mobile technology, in location technology, and in social technology, and how it can impact the business processes.
Right.
And the sooner that we recognize that recruiting and HR, talent management are business processes, they are probably the most valuable business process an organization can have when you consider how it impacts the people that work there, the better off we will be. I read a stat not too long ago that said, of the Fortune 500 companies, only 2% of them have a mobile recruitment strategy in place. That means 10 companies, that's all.
Wow.
Out of the top 500 companies have a mobile recruitment strategy in place.
Yeah.
And that's pretty dreary when you consider where we are. I mean, I don't know about you, but I never leave home, let alone leave the room, without my mobile device in my hand, right?
Yeah.
Because it keeps me connected to the world. And we are seeing a really quick, fast change to the Internet of Things. I live in a town where everything is connected, and I'm sure this is quickly becoming the case across the world, but I can park and pay for my parking by using my credit card by just slipping it into the parking meter, and it connects to my bank.
Right.
And okays that amount. That's Internet at work. When
Absolutely.
I use my Starbucks app to pay for my drink, that's the Internet at work. That's mobile at work. So if you are a recruiter and you are using email, chances are your email is being read on a mobile device.
Exactly.
So if email is your recruiting strategy, you have a mobile strategy already in place. It's just not a very good one.
Yeah, and the chances are the way those emails are read on a mobile device is not very user-friendly, in which case you're in danger of losing that potential candidate rather than actually gaining one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's cause of great concern for me because I am so diligent at research and keeping up with what's going on and the times that we have now and how important technology is in our lives. And I don't think you can even, and I've said this before, you can't touch on mobile without talking about social, and you can't talk about social without talking about mobile. So if you are using Facebook to post a job or to engage with a potential candidate or job seeker, if you are using Twitter, chances are you're either using a mobile device to do that or the person that is the recipient is using a mobile device. So mobile has to play a part in all of this. And if it doesn't, you're going to be left behind. And what we're starting to see is companies are adding that mobile layer, but they're not thinking mobile first.
Right.
Right. So it puts them maybe a little bit further ahead in the game, but they're still not being strategic and thinking about what does this mean a year from now? What does this mean 5 years from now? Consider what our lives were like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Consider what they were 10 years ago, right? Yeah. So we're talking, Facebook launched 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Twitter, 6 or 7 years ago.
And the iPhone in 2007.
Right, and I remember getting my very first iPhone, and I don't think I struggled at all.
No.
It was like so intuitive,
yeah.
such a wonderful thing to have in my hand and to take with me everywhere, and realize that I could be working at 11 o'clock at night. I could be working at 4 a.m. without having to sit down to a desk or check into an office or, rely on a corporation to give me access to my corporate email. It was right there
in the palm of your hand, yeah.
Right, and so it has changed how we communicate. I mean, and the thing that companies need to remember first and foremost, and this will help them and impact their efforts moving forward, is it's never going to go back to the way that it was.
No.
We're never going to tell somebody to fax a resume.
No.
We're never going to tell somebody to that I will FedEx the job description and the benefits package.
Yeah.
So you have it tomorrow, and we can review this quickly together.
And
it's never going to go back.
No, and some people won't even know what a fax machine is. So.
Well, I mean, just to give you an idea of what Gen X is doing, my son, who will be 17 in a couple of months, asked me not too long ago what a typewriter was.
Right. Oh, that's incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
So this next generation of kids have been born with a keyboard in their hand.
Yeah.
Have no idea what a typewriter is,
yes.
or what a fax machine or a dictaphone or an answering machine.
Yeah.
Right. Remember the answering machines? We thought we were, or a VHS player, or
it was like something from Star Trek.
Right. Yeah. The whole beam me up hologram thing is going to change. We'll probably take over Skype or video interviewing. It's all going to continue to evolve, and it's not going to slow down.
So why?
The only thing
Sorry, carry on. Yeah.
Sure.
Carry on.
Oh, I was just saying the only thing that will slow down is the dragging of the feet, that screeching sound that we're going to hear from corporations who just say, that's not how we've done it before.
Yeah, but that was the question I was going to ask you. What's going to have to change to bring corporations to realise they need to do this mobile stuff and they need to do it quickly?
So one of the things that I see happening already, and I touched on this earlier, is the next generation of workers, the next generation of management. They have taken it upon themselves to say, this is how I am going to search for a job.
Yeah.
This is how. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can, yeah.
Oh, okay. I heard something drop off, so I didn't know if I dropped off. They are still going to drive that process. And so I think that is what will be the impactful change when companies realize that the people that I'm looking to hire, the workforce that I am trying to attract, is not picking up a newspaper. They're not going to a job board. They're not interested in coming to my career portal on my website or walking in and picking up a paper application.
Yeah.
When we start to see that this is what's happening, that the Gen Y, the Millenniums, the Gen Xers have said, I'm taking control of my job search, just like I have taken control of all of my online information in order to make me appear and be more resourceful, hireable, the right talent for your organization. They have taken charge of this process, and that will be the difference.
It's interesting also because, again, at the conference I went to today, there's an aging population. Like in the past, people used to retire at 60, 65, but because of the economy and economic situation, then they're still actively looking for work now. So that's another population.
They aren't retiring.
Yeah, they're not retired. They're actively looking for work again.
And they're what we're going to see, the impact that we'll see on that, and we've been talking about this for a couple of years in recruitment, is the skills gap that's going to occur.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to have skilled labor. We're going to have different professions that are still going to require that old school labor, if you will.
Yeah.
But with a twist, it's going to have this modern twist. You know, if you're a construction worker, you're going to have that mobile device with you, and when you leave a job, you're going to have to send information back, or whatever you're doing, you can have your job paid for. If you're a landscape architect, you know, you can have that paid. Your client can pay you right there on the spot by using your mobile device. So all of this is changing when we consider what's happened in healthcare, how everything's gone to a paperless society, right? And some of I go to my doctor now, and she carries a mobile device in her hand.
Yeah.
And inputs everything into the mobile device. She doesn't sit down to a computer anymore. She doesn't carry a chart, right? Everything is in her hand. She walks in the room with this oversized-looking iPhone in her hand, and that's the system that the healthcare system that she's part of uses.
Right.
So it's going to impact everything that we do. And so when we consider the baby boomers, the older folks that should possibly be retirement mode, but they can't, for whether it's economic reasons or they're just healthy and they don't want to retire, they want to work longer, right? Which will be the case for me. I'm crazy though, so I'll probably never retire. We can hope that these folks have taken it upon themselves to learn the new tricks of their trade, or to learn to embrace mobile or location technology.
Yes.
Which is, you know, obviously attached to mobile tech. So
I've seen a lot of stats recently, like 70% or 80% of job seekers will use a mobile device to search and apply for a job. Yet the ability to do that is lacking from the employers. How's that gap going to be bridged? Because the demand is already there, but they're not actually delivering.
The demand is there, and we're luckily job boards, the larger job boards, and LinkedIn, and have adopted mobile technology, right? So luckily there is a good chance that they will still be able to find work or to do a valuable job search. So I think what they're missing, though, is the organic possibilities that there are of somebody just typing into their phone jobs at Macy's or jobs at Starbucks, right? And having Starbucks is on top of this. They have a brilliant mobile recruiting technology and have utilized all the social text to create an incredible employment brand. So I'm just not picking on Starbucks at all, because I like what they're doing.
Right.
But if somebody wants to search, say jobs at Virgin Airlines, is Virgin going to be ready to provide answers quickly? Because what is happening is with this mobile generation, they want it now.
Yeah.
They're not willing to wait. And if it doesn't render well on their phone, they're not going to go back home and pull up their computer and try and find it on their computer, because chances are most of them don't have a desktop or a laptop at home.
Exactly, yeah.
They're using, they're solely using that mobile device. So I think we will see talent gaps. We will see companies not able to hire because they're not using the technology that the workforce is using.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a case of workforce driving demand.
Absolutely,
Users driving use, right? And so we have to help. I'm hoping that, opportunities like what you're presenting, companies like Mashable and TechCrunch that are really highlighting what's going on with the slow-mo technologies and how the impact that they're having on business and life for us. So we'll start to awaken this sleeping giant, right? Because I think, evidence of how far behind we are is what's happened with the government healthcare problem here in the U.S.
Right.
That's just a website with people trying to get onto a website. Can you imagine trying to access that via mobile?
Oh, crikey, that'd be impossible.
With the issues that they've had, people that have had to wait 2 or 3 hours. Nobody wants to wait anymore.
No.
So if they're not, go ahead.
No, sorry, carry on.
No, I was just saying if a company has not implemented a really good mobile or social technology to their hiring process, they're going to lose potential workers.
Yeah.
So a potentially great workforce.
Yeah.
That and all of this can be used even past the hiring portal.
Yes.
Right. So this can all be used as a performance management, communications within teams, so cross-functional team meetings, virtual teams. As we stated earlier, this generation works from home. I work from home.
Yeah.
I work from home, and I'm 50, so I am part of this generation of people who have said, I'm taking control of my work life, right? And finding mobile allows you to find the balance that helps you as an individual on a team to actually find that balance and have a balanced work and home life.
Do you think companies don't appreciate the damage that not having a mobile strategy or mobile-enabled website is actually doing to their brand at the moment? Because there doesn't seem to be any urgency, does there?
Right. So they don't think it affects them at all because they're a big brand.
Yeah.
And I would caution them to remember what happened to Polaroid. Right. To remember what happened to the digital or the analog watch industry.
Yes.
Right. We can pinpoint moments in technological history.
Yeah.
Where major companies went under.
Yes.
Because they did not embrace new technology.
Yeah.
Whether it was digital photography, whether it was the change from a landline to a cell phone, or FedEx, Kinko's, and their conference call centers moving to embracing Skype. Right. Everybody that was in the recruiting business stopped paying big money to go to a video conferencing center or buy incredibly expensive video conferencing technology and products to have within their office or their home, and started just using Skype.
Yeah.
Right? Invest in a mobile webcam, and it changed your process. This is what's happening. We are at a time when the game is changing. And if you're not willing to hire the right players and invest in some new equipment, your team will lose.
Yeah.
And they'll either lose fast or it will be a long, painful death.
Yeah, because you're becoming less competitive all the time, aren't you?
All the time. All the time. It's a perfect opportunity for a new company. I mean, if we're talking about major soft drink companies, right? It's a perfect time to see what will happen with the one company that hasn't embraced mobile tech for hiring and the other company that has their own app that, and has said, we're going to invest in social and not just keep buying ads at the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's a big shift right now that's happening.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your insight. That's really interesting what you've covered today. And we're delighted that you've agreed to be one of the judges at the Mobile Recruitment Awards, which is on March the 27th. So we look forward to working with you and going through all the entries, shortlisting. And like I say, the winners will be announced on the 27th of March. And it's great to have you on board.
Well, I am really excited about the opportunity, and I believe the reason is because having been a practitioner, and I'm so excited about the opportunity to see what practitioners today are doing. What are they doing that they are doing really well, and how are they changing the way the game is played? I'm really excited about it. I think the awards are a fantastic idea, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be involved.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks very much for your time, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, then. Bye-bye.
Bye now.